Hi, welcome back to another now recording. It's been a little while since I have made a video, so I apologize about that. We're actually going to do another collection video because that's even been longer. That's probably been about 3 months since I've done one, so I thought we could pick that up and we'll start with C. So we finally finished B. I think there were like 4 or 5 videos for B, but we're done with B. We're going to move over to C now, and we're going to look at a handful of records here. So the first one that we're going to look at is Dream River. This is by Bill Callahan. If we could get the right, yeah, get the angle right. There we go. God, it's been so long that I've forgotten how to do this. Okay, there we go. So Bill Callahan was in a band called Smog, and he was the principal drive behind that band, and so he started a solo career. This came out in 2013 from Drag City Records, and it hit number 44 in the UK, but I don't believe it charted in the US. If we take a look at the actual packaging, it's like a kind of like a Native American theme almost. You know, I don't. This album is good, and I liked it. I admit that I haven't really revisited it a whole lot since I bought it. Although, Javelin on Landing and Summer Painter, I remember both of those songs as being quite good. But a friend of mine I used to work with was really into Smog and Bill Callahan, and then I had seen a lot of reviews at the time that this came out that were very positive. So I basically just decided to pick it up one day. I was in Newbury Comics, saw it, and said, I'll take a chance on it. And it's good. I haven't kind of delved deeper into Bill Callahan's stuff. That friend of mine I mentioned gave me a lot of his MP3s, so I have a lot of his albums like on my iPod. I just really haven't listened to them yet. So I intend to, but as of now, this is the only album of his that I have on vinyl. And it's funny when I do these videos, I always like I come across, or even when I'm just looking through my collection, like to listen to something, I'm like, oh yeah, I should listen to that again. I should listen to that again, you know. And this is one of those that I should listen to again. But this is good, and I should revisit this, and I will now that I've talked about it. You might hear my dog too sniffing around. I'm in my bedroom doing this, and she's probably right outside the door, so you might hear her. Okay. Here we have a George Carlin record, Takeoffs and Put-Ons. I want to say that I got this. I want to say that this came from that estate, that my wife's grandfather's estate. I think so. A lot of these are from there, so I'm going to kind of go through those a little bit quickly. I actually, you know what? I think that this was found. I want to say that this was actually found in my brother and sister-in-law's attic at their house in Rhode Island. They randomly, like a few years after they moved in, found an old box of records. I think that this was in there. I can't really remember. And George Carlin is hilarious, obviously, and I really like George Carlin. I haven't listened to this yet, though, and I should. I actually saw George Carlin live once in the late 90s in Las Vegas, and it was pretty funny because at the time I was like 13 or 14, and everyone in the audience was an adult except me and my cousins, and you know, everyone else looked horrified that we were there as George Carlin's talking, you know, saying F this and F that, and talking about, you know, tits and having sex and all this shit, but it was pretty funny. And he is pretty funny, or he was, before he passed away. This one's kind of interesting. If you see, I'll take this out of its sleeve. See this, like Dynaflex? So this is like a thin, if you can see this, like a lightweight vinyl that was introduced in 1969 as a cost-saving feature, or cost-saving venture by RCA. So, I don't even think it was just RCA. Record companies were recycling old records by melting them down and then creating these new ones. They were called reground records. So it's said that these are slightly noisier, and that one can see little bits of paper in the outer edges. I haven't seen that on this one. there are varying opinions of the sound quality of these Dynaflex records. They were discontinued in the late 70s, so they were only around for about 10 years. But that's kind of interesting. That was the first thing I kind of noticed about this. And Camden was some sort of imprint, RCA imprint. I think it was like, it might have been a comedy imprint. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if I recognize any of these bits. The newscast, the Indian Sergeant, I don't. But I'm sure this is just funny. I mean, George Carlin's funny, so this is probably funny. So yeah, I'll check that out. All right, and my battery may die, so I might have to start over. Oh, by the way, you know, this was released in 1967 originally, with different art. So this is a budget version. Camden might have been the RCA's budget label. So this is a later. When was this printed? If I can see. Focus. 1972. This was originally released in 1967 from what I read. So this is a re-release, a budget title. All right, this comes from my parents' collection. This is Candy O by the Cars. This was released in 1979. So the pinup artist Alberto Vargas, whose signature is on the cover, designed this. And then the model there is Candy Moore. She actually played Lucy's daughter, Lucille Ball's daughter, in The Lucy Show. So see what you can find out on Wikipedia. It's pretty crazy. So here's the band, Rick Ocasek. I believe that the Cars are from the Massachusetts area, I want to say. I'm probably completely wrong about that. I thought they were, though. Look at this guy, Benjamin Orr. So what's on this one? There's Let's Go is All I Can Do. Those were big hits. This album went to number 3 in the U.S., if I'm reading my writing correctly. Might be 13. I think it's 3. Let's Go hit number 14, and this is their second album. It went 4 times platinum, so that's pretty impressive. The Cars, you know, in terms of like a top 40 kind of band from the late 70s, early 80s, the Cars are pretty cool. I mean, they have a lot of, they have an interesting sound. I actually like their hits, and I like the Cars. I mean, they're not like a band that I would, you know, that I love or would go out of my way to listen to or anything, but when I hear them on the radio, on classic rock radio, which is usually when I'm exposed to them, I like what I hear. So that's Candy O. And then I got another Cars album here. This is Shake It Up. This came out in 1981, and this hit number 9 in the United States. This went 2 times platinum. And again, we should have the same band members, right? David Robinson, he looks different than the one I know. Benjamin Orr, Elliot Easton, Rick Ocasek. Just this kind of like 80s look. It was like a one of a kind, unique look in time. You know, I really have come to appreciate music from the 80s. Even the big pop stuff. You know, let alone, you know, stuff like The Cure and Talking Heads and stuff, which actually, you know, was on the pop charts that I really liked. But even the stuff like Madonna and Prince and stuff, there was just such a unique kind of atmosphere around it, the way it sounded, the look, everything else, that there's nothing else kind of like it, and I appreciate that. I've really come around on it. Shake It Up was a big hit. I think I mentioned that already. Oh, it hit number 4 in the U.S. I don't know that I know any of the other songs. I probably do, if I heard them. Let's open this up. This is also one of my parents' records. Get some lyrics. The sheet is in pretty tough shape, but it's an original. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a fingernail hitting a knob. Oh, it might be. It's probably that. Okay. Well, let's Shake It Up by the Cars. See, this is like, you have to be very careful with this stuff. There it goes. Okay. All right, now a lot of the other ones that we're going to look at are, they were all from that estate sale, my wife's grandfather's house. So we've looked at these. I'm not going to spend too much time on each one, but they're part of the collection, and I don't want to skip over them. And I will say that with all these Johnny Cash records, I have still not listened to any of them. So at some point I will. That's kind of the thing. It's actually nice about getting a vinyl like that in a big batch, is that at some point I'm going to listen to it, and there'll just be one day where I pull it off the shelf, but I have not done that yet. So Blood, Sweat, and Tears was the first one from 1963. Collection of songs about the American working man. So you see Legend John Henry's Hammer, Casey Jones, some kind of traditionals. Hit number 80 in the U.S. This 360 sound that you see on Columbia's records, like the Bob Dylan records and everything, it's pretty cool. This was a stereo and then monaural. Johnny Cash, another guy I haven't spent a lot of time with. I just don't. I appreciate him. When he had his little resurgence shortly before he died, where he did the cover of the Nine Inch Nails song "Hurt." I like that, but I don't consider myself a Johnny Cash expert. So at some point, I will listen to all of these. You see, this is a sticker that they put over the back. And I'm always so tempted to like peel this off, but I don't want to wreck it. But I just would love to see what's underneath that. Sometimes there's some interesting stuff underneath, but I just don't want to take all the finish off the back and ruin the sticker as well. So I'm not going to do that. But Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. This is from 1970. This won the Grammy Award for Best Country Performance by a Duo or Group in 1971 for If I Were a Carpenter. So, there you go. Hit number 6 in the U.S., number 1 on the country chart. It had three top 10 country singles, so If I Were a Carpenter, Blistered, and See Ruby Fall. All three of those were top 10 country singles. So it's a nice package, a nice gatefold package. And then does this still have the 360 sound? It does. It does. So that's that. We get Ring of Fire. This was from 1963, also on Columbia. The tracks, it's kind of like a best of. It says it right there, best of Johnny Cash. These tracks are from between 1959 and 1963. This was the first LP appearance of Ring of Fire, so it's notable for that. And that was kind of a big thing that they used to do, is like, to sell greatest hits albums. A lot of people would already obviously have all the records that those songs were on, so they'd add a new hit song to get people to go out and buy it. So that's what they did here. I'm sure it was successful. In fact, it hit number 26 in the U.S. and number 1 on the country chart. So I would imagine it was successful. 3 top 10 country singles off of this as well. 2, excuse me. Ring of Fire, and then what was the other one here? Oh, What Do I Care? I don't know that song. What is this? This underneath there. Oh, when they crucify, it's like, there'll be peace in the valley for me with the Carter family. Okay. Here's another one with a sticker on the back. See there, the sticker. Again, I'm not going to peel it off, but I would love to. So, that is Ring of Fire. Just got a few more. San Quentin, 1969, Columbia. Concert special that was filmed for Grenada TV in the UK. Which is now ITV. You might know it as ITV. So this went 3 times platinum, and this hit number 1 in the U.S. on both the pop and country charts, which is pretty impressive. A Boy Named Sue hit number 2 on the pop charts and number 1 on the country charts. So this was a big album. And if you look on the back, it's kind of interesting. If we look at the on side 2 there with San Quentin twice in a row. Legend has it that this was due to audience demand for an encore, but apparently Cash considered this major new important song to his act, and he just wanted to play it again, maybe to get it right or something like that. So that's why it's on there twice, which is interesting. That famous photo of him giving the middle finger, the Johnny Cash picture of him giving the middle finger, it's not on the back of this, but there's a famous picture of that. That comes from this performance. He was frustrated with the film crew blocking his view of the audience, and so that was directed at the Grenada TV film crew that was filming this. So that's kind of cool. All that folklore is another Johnny Cash. I don't have any of the inner sleeves for these, unfortunately, but okay. Last Johnny Cash, again, we've seen all these, so I'll kind of run through them. Carrying On, Johnny Cash and June Carter, 1967. This only hit number 194 in the U.S., which is pretty interesting, but it hit number 5 on the country chart. Jackson hit, featuring Jackson, it's the biggest font, hit number 2 on the country charts. Long-Legged, that hit number 6 on the country charts. Long-Legged Guitar Pickin' Man is the name of the song. That hit number 6. And then on the back, just kind of something that's interesting is that the write-up about Johnny Cash is written by Carl Perkins, who's obviously a Nashville country legend. It's just kind of writing about like their 12 long miserable years have passed since I was introduced to Johnny Cash. It's kind of funny. I like those kind of little essays and things like that you can read while you're listening to the record. And then this last one was also from that same Pickups video, The Ray Charles Story, Volume 3. This was released in 1963. So, again, I haven't listened to this either. Ray Charles, just I grabbed this because he's a legend and because I have a lot of respect for, him, even though I don't really know much about him or really know any of the songs. I mean, looking at the songs on the front here, I really don't know that I know any of them. Again, I'm sure that if I heard them, I would recognize them, but... and then this was written by Joel Dorn he's a Philadelphia disc jockey who I guess worked for Atlantic Records a little bit later. So again, I haven't listened to this yet. I mean, with Johnny Cash and Ray Charles, they're not like my favorite artists, but I saw these at that, and I thought, I might as well grab these. That at some point, I may want to go back and listen to these and kind of educate myself a little bit. So that's what I did. So a little bit of a cop-out video because there weren't too many new records that we discussed, but I just wanted to go through these again. I did pick up some new albums fairly recently, so I can certainly talk about those in the next video. I've already opened them all because I wanted to listen to them, but that'll be the next video, and then we'll continue with the C's. So thanks. Bye.